Just finished watching the first season of the Netflix show 1899. This will be spoiler free, other than details that give you an idea of whether you should consider watching this or not. My general feel for it is it's a decent effort. The question is where can they go from here? And if they can take it further from here, then they'll be doing something absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure they can, but the first season is worth a watch, just for the way the progression turns out. The key elements is this show is not woke. Uh, it doesn't subvert expectations. It does have plot twists, but it does not subvert expectations. Subvert expectations is Hollywoodese for essentially setting you up for something and then just doing something stupid in its place. Where instead of a plot twist where you could potentially see it coming if you weren't so engrossed with what was going on, but uh, a subversion of expectations just means that they set everything up and give you no potential to see what they're going to do next and just do something stupid in its place to go, ha ha, surprised you, didn't we? Well, there's none of that in here. I would say it's not written for a modern audience, meaning that they didn't go out of their way to make big points on things. Now, I'll give you two examples that don't particularly give anything away, but give you a flavor for it. So, obviously, if you've seen the setup for it, it's a bunch of passengers on a big sea liner steamer heading over to the United States. Uh, and mixed in with the passengers, we have a woman doctor. And it comes up where she mentions that she's studied to be a doctor, but she's not allowed to be a doctor by their social norms. And they don't really make a big stink about it. It's kind of a, oh, that's kind of sad. But they don't belabor the point, and she doesn't suddenly become a suffragette and jump up on the table and start to convincing people that women need to vote or anything goofy like that. Uh, she is given an opportunity at a point to do some doctoring, but it's not. Like I said, it's not the kind of goofy empowerment we would expect out of most Hollywood writers. Uh, there is a gay couple in this, and as this is 1899, uh, they're very private about what they do. You get to see a little bit of what happens in their cabin, but it's very, very clear that they're not going to go out walking around flamboyantly kissing each other and trying to make a huge stand for gay rights, because it wouldn't work. So the characters, although we have characters who could reasonably exist at this time, acting like characters would at this time. So um, it's okay. It's not jarring. It works. In general, the acting is decent. The characters are interesting. The characters seem to have enough dimensionality to make them interesting, considering there's a fairly good sized cast. Now, one thing that might be a little disconcerting for some people is that because this is a passenger liner that has sailed from Europe, there are passengers from all different countries in there. So uh, each group speaks its own language, and occasionally you have translation back and forth between it. So sometimes they don't make the language thing obnoxious. Now, if you hate subtitles, que sera, sera. There's nothing you can do about it. Uh, but they don't get obnoxious about it. There's points where, like, there's people talking and someone will say, please tell me what they're saying, but they don't belabor to the point where you're like going, I wish they just had everyone talk in English. It makes it more immersive. It works the way they do it. And most of the time, there's usually someone there that can cross translate, and you have Dutch people there who obviously can kind of jump back and forth between German and English to an extent. I mean, they can pick up enough of both languages to understand what's going on between the groups. So it works. It's a mystery story, but it's not a mystery box story. And we've talked about mystery boxes in other videos. Mystery boxes are just things to make you go, oh, there's a mystery, and a mystery, and they never really solve it. They just basically keep throwing out mystery boxes to keep you intrigued. Where in this one, they pretty much unveil the key mysteries that are presented in this by the time the end of the season finishes. There's one, I can't talk in detail because I'm not spoiling. There's one that happens that is not resolved, and I am hoping if the second season comes and I do actually watch through, I hope they explain it in some detail. The story wasn't in a position to resolve it, not out openly at least. Okay, so what starts happening is you have the story pieces start getting presented to you, and everything pretty much conforms to Chekhov's rifle. If they give it to you, it means something. So they're not just throwing crap out there to overwhelm your senses and go, oh, what's going on? Pacing at points can be a little slow, but the characters, their backstories, and the setting make you feel like it's kind of worthwhile that you're sitting there through the slower parts. Obviously, if you have a mystery and you got these little pieces being presented, it doesn't take very long before you realize that something isn't what it seems. And ultimately, your choices are going to be technology, paranormal, or narrator insanity. And trying to figure out what's going on with that is interesting. But at one point, they don't belabor it, where they actually start giving you direct indications of what the solution to the mystery is. And once you're pretty sure what's happening, yeah, you're in a position. But it almost seems like they had almost a little bit too much time to tell this part of the story, because when you start getting into the last couple of episodes, you start getting sequences where people are moving to places with no purpose. So they'll say, hey, yeah, we got this important thing we got to do. You people go here, you do this, and we'll all try to figure it out. And here's how we put things together. And you have a bunch of times where you chew up a lot of minutes with people moving around from one place to the next, and you realize, like, oh wow, he didn't advance the story at all here. And it's not horrific. It just is. It's there. And if you get to those points, slog through them. It's not. The episodes won't keep slowing down more and more and more. It's just they have a couple of sequences where they didn't quite work out the timing. They didn't advance the story. Now, they set up for what appears to be a major reveal, and you get a good plot twist that you probably weren't expecting, and it's decent writing. You don't sit there and go, oh, where'd that come from? No, it's decent. And then, ultimately, in the last couple minutes, we get a setup for the big reveal. And the big reveal is in such a way that I'm very concerned where they could go from here. I mean, the the type of reveal makes me concerned that they've wrote themselves into a box. Uh, and essentially, one of the critical parts of this that makes everything work is that the characters are interesting. And so they're going to have to write things in such a way where either the characters can somehow revert to form despite what the reveal has done to them, or alternately, they're going to have to reestablish those characters in a way where they are written as good or better than they were in this first season. And I think they got a tall order in front of them. But on the plus side, this is a foreign production, so they're not constrained by the tiny, tiny, tiny little minds in Hollywood. So they may have a way out of this. They may have a way to make this work. So that's ultimately my review. I would say it's worth a watch. The end may make you a little anxious where you go, huh? Same way with me, where you're going, what are they going to do with this? And who knows? Maybe they can pull it out. But just for uh, the general appearance, the acting, dialogue, everything like that, it's worth it just for the immersion part of it. The story is good if they can pull off this final transition here that they've left us with at the end of the season. Um, so uh, I guess if you do comment below and you've seen this and you're doing spoilers, be kind and warn people that you're doing a spoil. Uh, if you watch it, tell me what you think. And please consider smashing the like button. If there's somebody out there you think would find this review useful, please share it with them. And if YouTube has accidentally pulled you across my channel, please subscribe to it so you can see other content. I do a fairly eclectic mix of things. All right, thank you for spending time with me this evening. Hope to see you again in a future video.